one ranking or any award in your advertisement, there has to be a third party data with a reputed company like Nielsen's, and it's from the volume and the value data for that particular product. ASCII, when they challenge you and when you submit your data, there are certain expectations like if the test is based on the consumer usage test, then how many consumers to use? It has to be minimum 100. Number one claim, as I already said, it has to be from third party, volume and value data. First in market also needs to be established with a competition. At times they don't accept the market precedence. So if somebody is making a stronger claim and if you want to do that, and if you are challenged, you cannot take a stand that, okay, he is doing it, so allow me to do it. No, you have to have your independently third-party data. And even if you have a third-party data, during the review, ASCII will do a complete assessment. They have their own technical experts with them. Additionally, the terminologies used in your TVC or in your advertisement should be similar to the support documents, whatever you generate. Coming back to the Consumer Protection Act, so under this, there is a regulation for misleading advertisement. Here, again, there is a celebrity endorsement. If you are using, they have to do a due diligence. And if it is not done, or if it is the claim is not able to, you're not able to substantiate, there is a penalty. So penalty on the manufacturer or to the endorser would be from 10 lakhs to 50 lakhs. And the endorser can be banned from endorsing a particular product or a service for 1 to 3 years. So as you see, the claims regulatory environment is become very, very stringent, and hence you have to be all the more careful when you make a claims for your particular product. ASCII complaint handling is I'll take you through very quickly. As you know, the complaints can come from individuals, industry, and ASCII suo moto. There can be normal complaints which takes 15 days, 6 weeks or so, whereas there are fast track complaints which can be, the review can be done in 15 days. If your data is not found satisfactory by ASCII, in that case, the complaints get upheld and you have to go off air. If you don't go off air, it is already immediately communicated to the respective channels. So it's ASCII's decision is binding on you. However, since ASCII is a self-regulatory, there is no penalty here. Whereas for consumer misleading advertisement under Consumer Protection Act, you are required to pay a penalty if you are not able to substantiate your data. Before I move to the next session, I would like to show you certain borderline claims. So, the antibacterial, anti-dandruff, pimple, acne, hair loss, all of these are considered as the borderline claims, and they should be avoided as far as possible because they quickly get challenged. However, manufacturers usually tend to push the envelope because there are no positive or negative claims mentioned under the Indian cosmetic rule. The next topic I would like to go is to the categories of claim. So here, if you see the new improved, patented, number one, or India's leading shampoo brand, all of these are kind of general claims. New improved is based on the formula or packaging as well. Patented, of course, you have to get your product or the technology patented. Number one and leading shampoo, these are all based on the market data. There are certain claims which are called efficacy claim, which talks about product function, technology, ingredient, etc., which is SPF, anti-dandruff. Or if you've seen a Vaseline Gluta-Hya, it is Gluta-Glow technology. Ingredients like arginine, hyaluronic acid, vitamin C, neem, all of these claims, if you are there, you make on based on them, then they are ingredient based. Performance is definitely, if you're stating 99% less hair fall, it becomes a product performance. Positioning is something which for which category you are making a product and which is your target consumer. Like if you know Garnier men products or J&J baby products, these are the product positioning. Endorsements are of course with the celebrity professional associations. There are certain claims which are safety based claims which are non-comedogenic, hypoallergenic, tested under dermatological control. Here, as such, there is no regulation, but it is a manufacturer who has to take care that he has a data for these claims. Example of an efficacy claim on ingredient, which I just mentioned, fall repair 3x shampoo, which has arginine and which helps in improve microcirculation. In a way, it makes your hair stronger. Efficacy claims, which is on ingredient base, you have to remember that all ingredient declarations are claims. The ingredients which you add in a product should get recognized that it delivers a certain benefit which you make as your claim statement. So if you have a product, example which I have written here is Elvive NutriGloss shampoo, which says it imparts mirror shine due to pearl protein. Now here, this statement is an incorrect statement because there is no concept of active ingredient in the cosmetics. So nothing is done because you're not adding something to that level that only that ingredient will help you give a mirror shine. So you have to revert the claim that enrich with or a product with XYZ ingredient give you this benefit. So it is a product as a whole gives you a benefit. Expectations from the product would be different based on the category. So if your product, of course, when it is cosmetic and if you're using a turmeric, your end benefit should be something like fairness or brightness. It cannot be antiseptic or flavor. You have to keep that in mind. If you're using vitamin C, then it has to be antioxidant, so delivering a skin benefit. Otherwise, there will be a confusion with the consumer. So certain examples, if you remember off your head, like L'Oreal Paris, if you've seen Aishwarya Rai's ad, she talks about ceramide cement, or Pond's White Beauty talks about retinol, or Vaseline glutathione about hyaluronic acid. These are all signal ingredients. They are added, but they should have a published data to prove that they really are capable of giving a particular benefit to the consumer. Another category is comparative or superiority and parity claims. Comparative claims are comparison with the two products versus no treatment, versus ordinary products, versus leading brands, etc. Superiority is like does what no other anti-aging cream can do. So this is a very, very strong claim. Parity also, as no one fights hair fall better, it becomes a parity claim that there are some other who are actually doing it as good as you, but no one does it better than our brand. Whenever there is a comparative claim, you have to clearly mention versus what as the comparison, what is that method you have used, whether it is instrument, etc., and versus what the testing has been done. So it should be clearly be written on the label. Superiority claims, if you can see in the poster, it's the ad of Colgate versus Pepsodent, and they said that they are 130% have a germ attack power than compared to Colgate. So this is again with the strong data. So whenever you are making a superiority claim and you are naming a competition, it is permitted, but you have to have a very, very strong data because the advertiser can pull you to the court. So naming competition is permitted, but not encouraged within the industry. Parity claims also, if you are making, you have to have extensive data. You have to do studies against leading brands covering 90% of the market. This claim is valid only for 1 year because the leadership keeps changing and the formula may change, and then you have to redo your studies. Endorsements are always known to everybody. They are with the celebrities, they are with the professionals, they are with the associations. If you remember Colgate Total Toothpaste, it is certified by Indian Dental Association. Or L'Oreal Paris brand ambassador is Aishwarya Rai, so she's endorsing certain products. or Pond's cream is endorsed by their own technical person, etc. Now, what is the power of endorsement? It's create hype, it's improve brand image. Then it does, if at all there is some problem with the product, like if you remember Cadbury worms in the Cadbury few years ago, it was Amitabh Bachchan who was the brand ambassador, and it helps them to restore the image of the brand. Or sometimes they give us social messages, so that also helps a brand. Now we have seen the different types of claims, the categories, the regulatory framework. Now it is required that, as I said in my first slide, that you have to have a claim substantiation data. Why? Number one, that is the basic expectation of being a responsible marketer. It protects the company image and credibility. You have to respect the law and regulation. Otherwise, if it's a misbranding, it's a false claim, you might be refused by FDA, may refuse your product approval. If you're caught post-market, in the post-market surveillance, the stock gets seized, product may have to recalled, and you have to rework on your labels, communication, etc., which is a lot of cost, which is a reputation risk. There can be penalties, and there can be endless legal fights. So, as I said, and I'm repeating again, that every claim statement on your product packaging should have data which is in-house or it can be third party. So, if there are ingredient claims, which, for example, enrich with neem, it's a formula based, your product should have neem. If you are saying vitamin C, enrich with vitamin C, makes your skin brighter, or it is, so there has to be a data that vitamin C is antioxidant, and it is a published literature required to be present if you are challenged. There are certain claims which are subjective based on the consumer perception. Example, skin looks fresh. So it's based on the consumer data. You have to have minimum 100 consumer, and you have to they have to agree that yes, post usage the skin looks fresh. Certain claims which are numerical, you need to be more careful. It has to be professional grading. You have to hire a dermatologist, or it can be third party. The claims like 2 tones brighter, etc. For certain claims which are still more aggressive, like spot reduction, if there are clinical studies again under dermat control, and this is also many a times for the numerical claims, there's a possibility that they get highlighted faster, they get seen by the advertiser, by the ASCII or FDA quicker, and get challenged. The frequency of challenging is more. There are some objective claims, like you have to have instrumental data. Whenever you say that it reduced hair fall by 99%, to be a instrumental data. Market leadership, we have already spoken, it requires a market research data. Ingredients, I think I have already explained that published data should be available. Efficacy should not be linked to the product if it is an ingredient benefit. You have to have a right signal ingredient and avoid potential consumer confusion. So if you are having a skin cream, it is better to add vitamin C or any such ingredient. If you add amla, people will get lost. Whenever there is a chance of overstating the contribution of a signal ingredient, you should always avoid that. Suppose if there is a pure pen with the eucalyptus oil fights germ, you can say that yes, it is a particular product with eucalyptus oil helps to fight germs. You cannot say that eucalyptus oil present in this fights germs. So whenever there is no credible or defendable explanation for its use, avoid to use ingredient claims. Now I'm coming back to my last slide, but again, I don't think so you would be able to see my PVC. What about puffery and exaggeration? So if you remember the ad of Garnier Fructis shampoo where a girl pulling the truck with her hair. So such advertisements which show a very clearly absurd concepts, or if you remember a Cameline ad with the bindi, which if you remember, or a Centerfish ad. So these are ads where they clearly show exaggeration to indicate the benefit. It is subjective, open to interpretation. Sometimes it is with humor to attract attention. So these puffery claims are allowed. However, there has to be a disclaimer, which is called dramatization. So I have explained what are claims, the importance of claims, the different categories of claims, the regulatory framework of claims, and also what are the data requirements and why the data is required. So always I would once again emphasize that develop a formula with stronger yet defendable claims and avoid a reputation risk. Thank you.
Thank you, Veena ma'am. It was a wonderful walkthrough of the entire process, both how to substantiate the claim as well as what is the regulatory implications if we don't meet a claim defendable. So before we move to the Q&A, I would like to talk about the topic in discussion and how Maya can come into it. So Maya, we are developing an AI platform, and our beta version will come very soon. We are targeting for next month. If not next month, it will be in 2 months' time. So one of the features of Maya is when you are entering the formula onto the platform, you can say what is the functional claim. We don't handle the safety claim also you can enter, and the functional claim. We don't cater the marketing claim, the puffery and all those claims. We don't help, but we help the core aspect of your product. We will evaluate how relevant this claim is in your formula. So, for example, Veena ma'am was showing about hyaluronic acid as one of the claims for a certain effect on the consumer. So, we would evaluate those claims on market trends and the functionality of the product and the category of the product that you're creating, and we will give you a rating scale, whether it is a moderate claim or a highly defendable claim. So these insights also you will get. If you want to know more details about this AI application where you can create a formula from scratch, you can request for a demo. Soumya will be sharing a feedback of this session at the end of the Q&A. So you can request for a demo, and then we can help you out with that. Those who attend the demo do have some discounts when we start the platform for a pricing model. Yeah. Okay. So let's go to the Q&A. There are a few questions that is being posted here. Ms. Poonam wants to know, from the time a new product is ready to launch, how much time the regulatory permissions take in India? Veena ma'am, that's the question for you.
Yeah, I heard that. Thank
You
you
can
for the
also see
question.
the questions, ma'am, from your end also, you can see.
Yeah. Say that you have
We can't hear you clearly.
yeah, the product. See, for every particular product in under cosmetic, if you are selling, you need to go for a license from the state FDA. And before launching the product, the license should be in place. So the license typically is from the state FDA. and it takes around sometime between 3 to 6 weeks if all your documentation correct.
Okay, 3 to 6 weeks is the timeline.
Yeah,
And
it
before we
differs
launch
from
the
state to
product, we
state.
have to get the license as well.
Yeah, it's a product approval.
Yeah, product approval.
But but before that, if you are a you have a new plant, then you have to have a license for the manufacturing permission for the plant, and then under that manufacturing permission, the product approval has to be there.
Okay. Yeah. So the manufacturing unit has to be licensed as well, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And so this license for the product is separate.
Yes, it's separate. It's separate, and it's for each product.
Yeah, for each product. And is there a validity period or something like that?
Yes, yeah. The validity period for cosmetic license is 5 years.
5 years. So after 5 years, whether if it is still on the shelf, they have to come and do a
Renew.
verification and say that nothing has changed in the formula, or if there is a change, they have to do even before 5 years.
Yeah, if the formula change, every time you change the formula, it's a new permission.
Yeah, yeah.
And if not, then after 5 years.
So what is the cost if the declaration is there is no change, but we want to renew the license? Is there a rebate because there's nothing, we are just renewing?
See, if there is no change, you have to just give a certificate, and the relevant fees is to be paid per formula. You have to pay the fees and the renewal fees.
Okay,
It is some states it's different exactly. It is something like 750 per product, which is charged per formula.
okay,
Even
perform.
for the renewal, but renewal there is an additional 5,000 rupees cost as well. Plus a product per product also there is a cost and one time cost of renewal.
Okay.
But then they don't check anything. It's just done without reviewing the product.
Quite faster. It
It's
doesn't take
fast. It's
even
very
three to.
fast.
Okay, okay, okay. So the next question is: regulators only check documentation related to claims or samples are also or samples are also tested by authorities to check the claims. Do they check?
No,
Do they test?
no,
Yeah.
no. It is they don't check the product samples. You are not supposed to submit the samples. You are only have to give your formula and your artwork. Also, artwork also all FDAs don't ask. Few ask. Like I have experience with Maharashtra Pune FDA. They don't ask for the artworks ever, but the FDA they request for the artwork.
Okay.
So it's only artwork and your formula, and you have to pay the required fees for that per product.
So when you say artwork, is the
It's the
label
label.
that
It's
is
the label.
communicated to
Yeah,
the.
okay, it's the label.
Yeah. Okay. So the next question is third party responsibility of claims are responsibility of the brand or regulators can directly question them. Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
the third party is not responsible for anything. As a manufacturer, brand owner, or a marketer, is the responsibility of the advertiser. Not the it is it the third party is not responsible for anything. They are just conducting data and helping you to generate data for you.
Yeah. Um, Okay, I think that's all the questions from this list. I have a few questions if I can ask. I would like to ask actually. Uh, um, so you said one of the claim is cruelty-free logos, right?
Yeah.
So in India, I think in October 2015, there was a regulation that was passed
Yes.
saying no
On
testing
ban
on.
on animals.
Yeah.
Ban
So
on
my
animal testing. Yes.
So my question is, why are we still behind this cruelty free?
See, it's just to it's attracting consumer. So
Okay, it's just a
it's
marketing.
just a marketing strategy. Cruelty free is just differently worded. You don't even have to say that
Oh,
because
yes,
it's given from 2014 November that
yeah,
all products in India not to be tested on animals, even the ingredients.
yes,
So they're just showing something which is required by the law, but just highlighting. It's a marketing gimmick.
okay. It's a marketing gimmick. That's what I wanted to know because um, In certain countries, it's not banned. For example, in Australia, it is not banned. Yeah, people can go and
Yeah,
test. So
it differs
getting a
country to country.
cruelty-free logo over there is much more valuable
Exactly, exactly,
than
exactly.
getting a logo for an Indian brand where the law doesn't allow you to do that.
Yes, yeah,
I always get confused why they are getting this cruelty-free logo. So
yeah.
I understand now it's a marketing gimmick. Okay, now you were talking about misleading claims, right? I just wanted to make sure for a better understanding, can you give us an example of a misleading claim?
Uh, See, misleading claim is something as normal as your hair becomes 99% stronger. It's a claim. It becomes misleading only if you don't have a data.
Okay,
Because so that is applicable to any and every claim. As
okay,
long as you have a data, it is a true claim. The moment you get challenged and you are not able to produce a data that after combing your hair so many times, so many hairs fall, and you calculate after combing test that this much is the strength or this much is the hair fall reduction, whatever. So that is becomes a misleading. So you are misleading to the consumer because of not having data, or it's a false claim.
okay. False claim, because the reason why I asked this question is some people do play with words, right, on the
Yes,
marketing claim.
everybody
So
plays with word.
yeah, so the customer's perspective would be different, but actual functionality would be something different. So that was my thought process. So you're saying even if they don't have a data, but they still go ahead and say this does this these things, that is also misleading. Okay,
It's a misleading.
yeah, okay, okay. It's not a false claim, but it's a misleading claim, is what I'm trying to figure out what's the accurate word terminology here. Okay, I think okay, we'll leave it with that. And ma'am, there are brands which say clinically proven, tested, and all those things, right?
Yeah.
So, let's say you gave this example of L'Oreal saying hyaluronic acid, ceramide cement, and all those things, right?
Mhm.
So they must have tested this. They would have understood this is doing this work, and this is the ingredient that is doing all this effect. So why are they not saying clinically proven? Is there a difference?
See, arginine or any such hyalurons, all of these are all ingredient-based claims for which they don't have to write anything. If there is for ingredient claims, which I repeatedly said in my presentation, if there is a published data for
Mhm.
their efficacy, you are done with it. They are simplest claim to make. Arginine known for the microcirculation, you will get a published data. Hyaluronic acid for the skin benefit, you will get a published data.
Okay,
So
so
it need not be. But if L'Oreal is saying or XYZ company is saying two-tone fairer, it's a numerical claim. Consumer can't on their own make out whether they have become fairer two tones or they have become brighter two tones or one tone or five tone. So you require a professional dermatologist who will do the grading after. So the consumers are the testing is done by the dermat to make such strong claims that claim spot reduction in 3 days. So who can do that? Only the mat can check that and generate a data. And so then they say that it's clinically proved. So these are all clinical tests.
okay, so this is clinically proven test
Yes,
results.
yes, yes.
Um, okay, so is there any more questions from the audience? See, this is your chance to ask as much as you can. We have 10 more minutes. Apparently, today we have a very silent audience, not many questions. Earlier, in our earlier webinar, we used to go beyond time. So, any questions that we can ask Miss Veena?
Or maybe they can send their questions even later, and then it can come to you, and maybe I can answer.
Yeah, sure. Uh, Ma'am, one more thing. So, in the cosmetic rules or the drugs and cosmetic rules, there is no claim based rules, right? Except the labeling information and stuff, right? Are
No, there is nothing. It just says that the cosmetic should not purport any false or misleading claim. It's only a one-liner,
okay,
and that is why a lot of advantage is being taken. And that is why now the ASCII is also not really the consumers feel that ASCII is not doing their job rightly, and hence the misleading advertisement regulation has come under the Consumer Affair Ministry. So they
okay,
have made it more stringent because, like many other countries, there is a positive and negative list. There is a pre-approval. So there are a lot of things exist in other countries which is not in India. So they are trying to bring in some control over advertisements. Yeah.
okay. So, so these when you say ASIC is a voluntary based organization,
Yeah.
um, I did understand there are some implications under the law if you are non-compliant and if ASIC is able to figure it out or so motor they can challenge you and stuff. So apart from this penalty, have you come across a large case in terms of the cosmetic in products in India where you think, oh, this is where your brand will get a hit? Has there been any history on those lines, so that people can understand that they don't do those kind of products or claims?
There are not many. It's because for till 21 or 22 starting, it was only the ASCII, which cannot have any penalty, charge you a penalty. It is just you have to go off air. And the small news article would come that ASCII upheld ad on so and so company. End of the story. People never used to care about it.
Mm.
After after the misleading advertisement regulation in the past 1.5 years, the only example which I remember is Sensodyne.
Okay,
It's in the under the cosmetic the toothpaste under cosmetic license, and they are making a drug similar claims that got pulled, and they were asked to change the claims. So
okay.
and paid some penalty, etc., etc. So the Sensodyne is the only example. It's because there was nothing who can penalize the advertisers.
Okay. I have one more last question, but before that, I would request the participants of today's webinar to finish our feedback form. We
Sorry, there
also
are some
have
questions raised in the chat.
okay, there is questions raised in the chat. Okay, yeah, sure. I will ask those questions. So I will also request, we are doing a poll. Soumya, can you post that LinkedIn poll? Yeah, so she has posted the poll link. I would request you, whoever is in the field of product development, as part of R&D team, can you please go and fill that poll for us? That would be great support for us. And so the next question, ma'am, is what is the difference between EcoCert and Cosmos approved?
There is no difference. Both are there to certify natural and organics. They are two different bodies. But the more
I think
reputed is
EcoCert
EcoCert.
is applicable
EcoCert is
to agriculture also, right? While
yeah,
Cosmos
yeah.
is
They
more
do
of
it for
yeah,
everything, but EcoCert is more known to the multinationals, etc. Cosmos is also there doing the same job.
yeah. Next question is in skincare, they put after and before images. So it is clinically proven or derma proven? This is a question.
These are they're just playing with the words. Clinically proven or derma proven is clinically proven is all done under the dermatologist control only.
Okay.
So it is only playing with the words to make it sound more sophisticated. it is same. And before and after is shown, it is only to convey the product benefit to the consumer. So only by saying you become fairer, you become brighter, you become radiant, probably a two-tone fairer, consumer would not understand because everybody can't read English or whatever. So they show the images and they write the disclaimer.
So in this case, it must be, I think Krishna was asking is, so it must be dermatologically proven, not clinically proven, because dermatologist only can do that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have one more question, follow-up question on that. So when a customer is going for dermatological testing, what is the sample size? Because you said for consumer perception, you should have minimum 100 consumers saying the same thing, right? To make that claim. What is the size, for example, this two-tone brighter or lighter? What is the sample size of the dermatologist? Is there any yardstick for that?
It's not mentioned anywhere, but generally what I can say from the industries where I have worked, we take it on the 30 consumers.
30.
Yeah.
So minimum 30 is kind of an
It is not
acceptable.
mentioned anywhere under the law. So nowhere the do's, and even the 100 consumers is not mentioned anywhere by ASCII. But usually if the data is with 100, they think that it's a robust data.
Okay.
Okay. And for this 30 of clinical, also we do it. It's based on our internal, like the company's internal statistics. So it's nobody has really made a rule in India that you use so many for consumer, you use so many for consumer perception. They do it for 1,000 consumers also. When they say so many percentage of women agree, they change word it also differently. That
Okay.
their skin becomes brighter. 99% women agree. So it's that agreement is on different zones like east, west, north, south, different the regions, and they take around 1,000, 2,000 consumers data as well.
Okay, so that is different, right? So for the dermatologist, that's even more complicated. So you're
Complicated.
reducing number to 30, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Because I think there is no regulations elsewhere also for these kind of claims, because I know for a fact in Australia and in Europe, sometimes, dermatologists just do it on their one of the patients and
yeah.
they come with the
Country
claim.
to country, the regulation differs. There are certain countries like Indonesia and all, they have regulation like Bangkok, Thailand, yes. But in majorly in the countries, there are very few regulation on claims. Like Europe has a claim on a regulation on free from claims.
Okay,
You can't make paraben free claim because some parabens are added into the product.
yeah,
You're
yeah,
denigrating somebody.
yeah.
So the regulation differ, but I have actually not gone because into all of those complexities because it would have taken it
Yeah,
would
yeah,
require a
yeah,
different study.
absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
so that's a good insight that for to claim dermatologically tested, we have to have at least a minimum sample size of 30 people. Maybe it depends on what kind of product also, right? So if you're
What
bringing
kind
a
of model,
moisturizer,
how strong your claim is, what
yeah,
number you want to flown. Because whenever you spend so much of money, you are making a very aggressive claim.
mm,
And
yeah,
numerical claims, if you make it, they get challenged immediately.
okay. So there is something EWS 1 and 2. What it means?
No, sorry, I
Yeah, even I am not able to understand, Mr. Khan. Can you please expand the acronym if you can? Just a second, Tanvi. Let me finish these people and then I will give the floor to you. 1 minute. Netravati is asking, clinical trial process is mandatory for the cosmetic products or not?
no,
No.
nothing is mandatory. It's the manufacturer's prerogative to choose what studies he wants to do. But as I said, when you are making aggressive claim like a 2 tones, 3 tones, brightness or a radiance from the first use, usually it is advisable to create a data with the help of the dermat.
Okay.
But it is
Tanvi,
not mandatory.
okay.
But then
Tanvi,
be prepared to lose it also.
okay.
Lose the claim.
Okay. We can. Okay. Okay, Tanvi, you can unmute and speak.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, for the dermatologically tested, I wanted to ask, do the dermat has to approve it, right? The dermatologist has to approve it?
Yeah.
Correct, right? And
Yes.
okay, so from if I take an approval from one dermatologist, then I can put it on my label, dermatologically approved.
Yeah.
Okay. So and for that dermat to approve, they take a sample of 30, like test
Yeah.
with
It
30
depends.
people.
It's okay. The 30, as I said, the number is not mentioned anywhere.
Correct. The number of people that our firm
Yeah.
decides, like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so an official email then I get need to get from the dermat, and then I can, I
You have to
guess.
have a data, whatever study she has done on each consumer. Either you can take a photographs or
Okay,
you do the spot reduction, you have to measure the spot, all of that. So all of those documentary evidence you need to have. It is not a certificate is later, but the supporting data needs to be there, which if challenged, you need to produce to the challenging authority.
okay. So in case if I have all the data now of 30 people, so after that now it is officially there is no certificate. It is just one email from the dermat, and then that should be
No,
sufficient, right?
that's what Tanvi she's saying. See, first of all, you have to understand what is your claim, and then you have to prepare the your test. Your dermat has to prepare
Protocol, the
the
test
test
protocol.
according to the claim that you're calling. So, the example Veena ma'am was telling is 2 tones lighter. So you are measuring the tone of your the skin,
Skin
right? So
tone.
skin tone.
Correct.
So the
Correct.
dermat has to make sure what is the test or what is the way to measure that dermat that skin tone when the
Mm-hmm.
person is using it on day one and the person is using it on day 7 continuously. So whatever test that she is using, that also needs to be acknowledged. That procedure has to be acknowledged by some body under the
No,
dermatology.
no, not external body. It is
Okay.
internal protocol which the manufacturer has to define with the help of a dermat. There are certain for brightness, radiance. There is a chromometer, the instrument. However, that tone difference, it's always it is helpful that if it is done by the dermat.
Okay. So
Okay.
that
So there
data,
are for
she has
the
to provide you all those data, whatever she has done for 30 people. You should see, your point is you are going to take the onus of the claim of your product, no third party. Your dermat is the third party.
dermat is not responsible.
Is questioned, you are answerable. So you should collect the data from the dermatologist and understand whether whatever she says, whether it is yes, it's 2 tone lighter or no, it's 2 tone not lighter. You have to see whether the majority of the 30 participants are getting the lighter or it's not a claim that you can make. That data information you should have. And when
Yeah.
somebody questions, you should be able to give it.
Okay. Okay. All right.
Pradeep, you can unmute and speak.
What is the difference between the vegan and the organic product?
What is the difference between vegan, is it?
Yes.
Vegan and
Vegan
organic.
and the organic product.
Okay.
See, organic are the products which are actually natural ingredients only, where it is grown or cultivated without chemicals and pesticides. Vegan has altogether different definition. Vegan is all animal derived is not part of the vegan. So even if you certain things like which are commonly used like beeswax, lanolin, or honey, all of these won't come under the vegan cosmetics. So vegan is without animal ingredients, as simple as that. And if there are and if you're using like beeswax is commonly goes in lipsticks, lanolin is in so many creams. So all of that you have to have a chemical or a plant-based alternative. That is
But
vegan.
But that is also coming under organic also, no?
It can come, but not necessarily it has to be cultivated without with pesticides and chemicals. So if you're using natural ingredients in vegan, not necessarily it has to be organic.
Hmm. Okay.
Organic is natural also, but natural grown without chemicals.
Hmm. So if
That
I
is a,
want to claim a vegan product,
hmm?
which are the certificates required for that?
BWEG is a international body. They will certify. But since
Which
in
body?
India there is no such thing as there is no regulation on vegan. Again, it is your own internal data. Also, you can keep and make that sale, but you can't use the logo.
I can use the
Vegan has their
logo,
own logo. You can just say vegan, and
but
you have to have your data
when I
to
claim
challenge.
as a vegan, then it
Mm.
is definitely there is a governing body.
There is no governing body in India. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, but food and
The
drugs is always there, no?
food and drug is there, but they haven't made a regulation that when you make a claim vegan, you have to do this, and this is the body to certify. They haven't made that. The
No, but
BWEG
there
is
may
there, but it is an international body, and people do it so that their reputation risk is protected. They if challenged and if they are not able to prove, so they do it. They spend money, they get the certificate, they use the logo. You want to do it on your own, you can take advantage that there is no regulation in India. You have your own certification internally, and you can make the claim without the logo of BWEG. Or you can have your own logo, just write vegan, but you
so
can say it's certified by BWEG or use their logo.
I can't write as a certified,
No,
but
you
I
can't.
can use that logo.
You have to define your own logo then.
Okay,
You can use
vegan.
somebody else's logo. Like EcoCert logo, you can't use for natural and organic for your product if you are not getting certificate from them. Same is
Okay,
here. Same
but
is
I
here.
can write. But I can write.
You can write. You can write.
So there will won't
But
be
you
any
have to have an
objection.
internal data. As I say, all
Hmm.
these claims you have to have. If you are not going for the why people go for third party, it's for credibility.
Hmm.
So if challenge, because vegan is becoming a popular claim now. So even if it's your, I don't know how big your company is or how big your manufacturer you are. Normally, the smaller manufacturers are not immediately get challenged. But if you are making some strong claims and if you are everywhere in YouTube and digital and everywhere, there are chances that if you get challenged, and then to protect that, to avoid that, to losing the claim, and again the cost incurred, you can get it third party, but you are allowed to do without certification.
Okay. The same thing is with organic. Is there any certification for that?
In India, actually, again, natural and organic, there is no regulation. Now, BIS, the Bureau of Indian Standards, is in the
Yeah.
process of making a standard. However, the standard is not yet ready. They have seen that a lot of manufacturers, and especially small manufacturers, are randomly claiming natural and organic on their products. And they are not able to catch them because they say where is the regulation? It's our own definition of natural and own definition of organic.
Okay. So it is
There is an ISO
governing.
standard which is not applicable in India.
Okay. But these standards are prescribed by BIS body or by food and drugs. They do they have any standards for organic?
No, they don't have.
That's what,
But
Pradeep, that's what Veena ma'am was saying.
Hmm.
The regulations are going to come. It's still not published. There is going to be a regulation for natural and organic cosmetics. Right
Okay.
now, the way cosmetic industry, if they are really focused on bringing some genuine claims, what they do is they put the ingredients that is organic in nature, for which the normal food based organic certification they would have got. For example, if you are getting a coconut oil, that coconut oil manufacturer would have got an organic certificate which you will be using in your formula. For those
Hmm.
ingredients, you can put a star and you can say these are organic ingredients, organically certified ingredients. But you should have a proof that you have bought from this supplier who has a valid organic certification with them, and you should have data to show he is your supplier and this is has entered into your facility. So those level of proof you should have. with you.
Normally, whichever the ingredient we purchase as an organic one, those people are the farmers, and they doesn't have any
So then
actually.
you can't claim that organic certification. You should have a valid organic certification supplied by the authorized third party agency, which is given by the government. The government give licenses to third party agencies who will certify ingredients for organic nature. So that certificate with a valid date should be available. Only then you can claim this ingredient is organic in your formula. Otherwise, you can. As of now, that's what she was saying. There is no regulations per se, and that's why there is misuse of claims using natural and organic terminologies.
But
Okay.
who are the third party?
We are overboard of time by 10 minutes. Mozam Khan, I think you are asking about EWG. EWG is a third party organization in the US where they look at products for safety and for ingredient safety, and they once they give a logo, that means this product does not have any harmful ingredients. On those lines they would give. So there are similar there is one more organization in the US which is called Made Safe. It is also an independent NGO kind of an organization. See, most of these certification providing organizations are not government based organizations. They are voluntary organizations. Sometimes they form an association within the industry members itself. So it's a bit of a tricky thing, but there are credible organizations. For example, Cosmos is also a group of cosmetic industries combined, joined NGO, I believe, Beena ma'am. So but they are quite credible. They have a say in the regulatory framework in the EU. So there are almost all the organizations which is certifying are independent bodies. They don't have any association of the government rules. It is a voluntary certification. You are going and voluntarily asking for a certificate. So they are also giving you as a third party, scrutinizing your product, and they're trying to give you a logo. So I can tell you in layman terms what that means. I can't go around and tell I'm the best person in the world, right?
Yeah.
Somebody else has to come and tell everybody that Simi is the best person, right? I can't go around and say I am the best. So that's what you're trying to do. You can It's best, somebody else speaks about your product quality than you speak about your product quality. That's the difference there. Going outside and going with your own labeling claims. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, thank you very much. I request each one of you to please fill the feedback form. It is important for us as well as for Veena ma'am, so that when she comes next time, she can understand how what else she wants to cover and all those things. So please fill the form, and please follow our LinkedIn page for future webinars. We will have the next webinar. We are looking at August 24th. It will also be another prominent person who's coming and going to give this talk. So please follow us on LinkedIn. And those who are interested to be part of our AI product launch, please request for a demo. You will have a free few months of free access for the beta version that we are launching. So don't miss that opportunity. Thank you very much. Thanks for your time.
Thank you all. Thank you.